Social cleanup. Why keeping certain friends will bankrupt you. You probably think your future depends on your motivation, your discipline, your intelligence. But what if your future is actually being decided by the 5 people you talk to the most? Not because they're evil, not because they want to destroy your life, but because human beings are emotional copy machines. Your brain quietly absorbs the habits, beliefs, standards, excuses, energy, and emotional patterns of the people around you. And the scary part? Most people don't even notice it happening. A broke mindset spreads quietly. Low ambition spreads quietly. Complaining spreads quietly. Victim mentality spreads quietly. And one day, you wake up realizing your dreams somehow got smaller. Your standards got lower. Your energy disappeared. And the life you imagined for yourself slowly turned into survival mode. Not because you failed, but because your environment trained you to fail slowly. And today, we're going to talk about one of the hardest truths about success. Sometimes the people you love the most are the people keeping you stuck. Here's the thing. Most people never do a social cleanup. They clean their room, they clean their phone gallery, they clean their diet, but they never clean the emotional environment surrounding their mind. And that changes everything, because every conversation you have is programming. Every joke, every complaint, every opinion, every reaction. Your brain is constantly asking, what's normal around here? If everyone around you procrastinates, your brain relaxes into procrastination. If everyone around you thinks success is luck, you stop trying harder. If everyone around you secretly hates ambitious people, you'll start feeling guilty for growing. And this is why some people stay trapped for years without understanding why. They're trying to build a powerful future inside a weak environment. It's like trying to get healthy while breathing toxic air every day. Eventually, the environment wins. So if you're serious about changing your life, not just temporarily, but permanently, subscribe to the channel. Because the hardest part of growth isn't learning new habits. It's becoming strong enough to outgrow environments that no longer fit who you're trying to become. And most people never have that conversation. Your brain was not designed to help you become exceptional. It was designed to help you belong. That's important, because thousands of years ago, being rejected by the tribe meant death. So your nervous system evolved to prioritize social acceptance over personal greatness. That instinct still lives inside you, right now, which means your brain constantly adjusts itself to match the people around you. Their emotional level becomes your emotional level. Their standards become your standards. Their excuses become your excuses. This is called social conditioning, and it's happening every single day, whether you notice it or not. You start saying phrases they say, thinking thoughts they think, accepting limits they accept. Even your ambition gets regulated by the emotional temperature of your social circle. And here's where it gets dangerous. If your environment punishes growth, your brain starts associating success with pain. Think about it. Have you ever told someone about a dream and they instantly laughed, doubted you, changed the subject, made you feel unrealistic? That moment matters more than you think, because the human brain remembers emotional danger. So eventually, people stop talking about their goals. Then they stop pursuing them. Then they slowly become average just to stay emotionally accepted. But it gets worse. Negative environments don't always look toxic. Sometimes they look comfortable, familiar, funny, relaxing. That's why so many people stay stuck, not because they're surrounded by monsters, but because they're surrounded by people with no direction, people addicted to distraction, people emotionally attached to mediocrity, people who normalize wasting years. And if you stay in that environment long enough, your nervous system adapts to it. You stop feeling urgency. You stop dreaming bigger. You stop believing change is possible. This is why your circle matters more than motivation, because motivation fades, environment rewires, and one toxic pattern repeated daily becomes a personality. Now, does this mean you should hate your friends? No, absolutely not. Some people are simply operating from their own pain, their own fear, their own limitations, but understanding them doesn't mean you should let them shape your future. Because if someone constantly drains your ambition, your confidence, your focus, your discipline, they're not just affecting your mood, they're affecting your destiny. Most people think the solution is to cut everyone off, disappear, become cold. But that's not the real answer, because isolation can destroy you too. The real solution is much deeper. You need to stop asking, "Who likes me?" and start asking, "Who brings out my best self?" That changes everything, because the right people don't just support you emotionally, they upgrade your identity. When you spend time around disciplined people, discipline starts feeling normal. When you spend time around focused people, focus feels natural. When you spend time around people building meaningful lives, you unconsciously raise your own standards. And this is something nobody talks about enough. Your brain copies proof, not motivational quotes, proof. If nobody around you is growing, your goals start feeling impossible. But the moment you meet someone who's doing what you dream about, your brain suddenly says, "Wait, maybe this is real." That's why proximity is powerful. It collapses doubt. And no, this doesn't mean you need rich friends overnight. Sometimes one person with vision can completely change your trajectory. One conversation, one mentor, one ambitious friend, one healthy relationship. That's enough to wake your brain back up. And there's another uncomfortable truth. Some friendships survive only because both people stay the same. The moment one person starts growing, the relationship becomes unstable. Why? Because growth forces comparison, and comparison creates discomfort. So suddenly, people start calling you different. You changed. You think you're better now. But usually what they really mean is, you stopped living at the level that made me comfortable. And that guilt traps millions of people. They shrink themselves to protect old relationships. They dim their ambition to avoid criticism. They play small just to stay emotionally accepted. Meanwhile, years disappear, potential disappears, life disappears. And one day, they realize something heartbreaking. They sacrifice their future trying to avoid temporary discomfort. Now, why does this matter so much? Because your life is heavily shaped by repetition. Who you text daily, who you listen to, who you laugh with, who influences your emotional state. That becomes your future, not once, repeatedly. So how do you actually do a social cleanup without becoming arrogant or lonely? Start with awareness. That's step one. After spending time with someone, ask yourself, do I feel energized or emotionally heavy? Do I feel inspired or smaller? Do I feel clearer or distracted? Your nervous system already knows the answer. Most people ignore it. Step two, stop giving unlimited access to people who constantly damage your mindset. You don't need drama. You don't need a speech. You don't need to announce your transformation online. Just reduce exposure. Less time, less emotional dependence, less influence. That alone changes your mental clarity massively. Step three, intentionally upgrade your environment. And today, that's easier than ever. Books are environments. Podcasts are environments. Videos are environments. Communities are environments. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between physical proximity and repeated exposure. If you spend 2 hours every day consuming negativity, your mind adapts to negativity. If you spend 2 hours learning from intelligent, disciplined, visionary people, your identity starts shifting too. Step four, become the kind of person you wish existed around you. This is huge because sometimes you're waiting for supportive, focused, ambitious people while still operating with chaotic energy yourself. The fastest way to attract better people is to become better yourself. Raise your standards, keep promises to yourself, control your attention, speak with purpose, protect your energy. People who are serious about growth naturally recognize each other. And finally, accept the loneliness phase. This is the part nobody prepares you for. There's often a strange period during growth where you no longer fully connect with your old environment, but haven't yet found your new one. That space feels uncomfortable, but it's temporary, and it's necessary, because transformation requires separation before alignment. A caterpillar cannot become a butterfly while trying to stay socially accepted by other caterpillars. Growth changes your environment naturally. At the end of the day, your life is not built only from your decisions. It's built from your repeated emotional exposures. That's the real game. Your environment silently tells you every day what's acceptable, what's realistic, what's possible. And eventually, you become whatever your environment repeatedly normalizes. That's why protecting your mind is not selfish. It's survival. You cannot build an extraordinary future while emotionally living inside ordinary thinking every single day. And maybe the hardest lesson of adulthood is realizing this. Love does not automatically mean alignment. You can love people deeply and still understand they cannot guide you where you want to go. That doesn't make you cruel. It makes you conscious. Because your future deserves protection too. And the people who truly love you will not fear your growth. They'll celebrate it. Most people think success is about working harder, but sometimes it starts with changing who has daily access to your mind. Watch this next video because there's another hidden behavior silently destroying your focus, discipline, and future, and almost nobody notices it until it's too late.